Gordon Ramsay, Mark Zuckerberg, 50 Cent, Joe Rogan. What do all these men have in common? They're not just successful, they're actually people who take training seriously. And in this video I'm gonna show you why physical strength is not just about lifting weights and looking good. It's actually the foundation of everything: your relationship, your money, your mindset. And this is why strong men are very successful, because success is not just about the money. After watching this video, make sure to also comment your opinion about this stuff and tell me if you're also training in the comments and how long you've been training for. Now, who am I? Jan Bart Sigel, 188 centimeters, 95 kilograms, able to do many skills, very cool muscle ups, very cool handstand push-ups, all that stuff. Very solid weighted pull-up, weighted dip, strength. As you can see, the numbers are solid, everything is on point. So yeah, this is who is gonna talk to you today. But more importantly, I've coached over 4,000 people who are serious about life and training. You know, men running businesses, managing teams, building empires. I've coached them all. All of them get stronger through the Soviet style of training, and their strength and muscle mass accelerated. Like Jorge, for example, the owner of a chocolate company who's 47 years old, and he wanted to take training and strength and health more seriously. He came to me for one-to-one coaching, and now he's doing 40 kilograms for weighted pull-ups, and he gained 6 kilograms of muscles. And this stuff actually helped him accelerate his business to a next level, because he has more energy and more drive from training. And Sebastian, who was really into snowboarding, a proper businessman. So after the training with me, after he got stronger, he getting the results, he also motivated his son to start training, which is already a big achievement. So at first he just wanted me to transform his physique and get him to look better, but we ended up actually doubling his strength on weighted pull-ups and weighted dips. He also added 4 kilograms of muscles during the coaching. And he can do muscle ups, he can dip 40 kilograms easily. So in this video I'll show you the connection between strength and success. If you look at the most successful people in any field, most of them do train or do at least any form of exercises. And if not all of them do, the best ones do. The ones from tech, Zuckerberg for example, from the entertainment industry for example, Mark Wahlberg and Joe Rogan, from the restaurant business, Gordon Ramsay, from music, 50 Cent. And these are not guys who have nothing to do, they're actually one of the busiest people on earth. And they still train for some reasons, and they still prioritize that no matter how busy it gets. Because it's not just about success, there's more things that are important in life. It's your health, it's your achievements in sport, which is also related to your health, and the examples that you show to the people around you. And it's of course making sure that you can provide for your family and that you have goals. So there's more things that are important in life. That's why these people are actually also training. And if you're really unathletic, you're not athletic at all, you're not strong, you don't have any strength, you're maybe very overweight, or you're very skinny, you can't even enjoy your money. Because you can't do most of the activities. And if you do the activities, you feel very bad. So you're suffering from things that everybody can do, no problem. Or at least the athletes can do, no problem. You can't even drive a car that's fast, because you do a couple of turns, you get one G-force, and that's it, you're suddenly sweating right now, and you need 3 days off from just a car ride. So it's very tough to enjoy the money because there's not much you can do. And you also hear many people who do make the money, they kind of end up regretting not taking their health very seriously. But the strong man, he takes his family on all the activities, he's actually doing the activities with them, and even if the activities are intense, maybe the people he's with are actually getting tired, they maybe feel the activities, but because he's an athlete, he doesn't even feel it. So he can do all this stuff, no problem, he's enjoying the time with his family, it's a good experience, and at the same time, everybody is having a good time, and the athlete himself, so the man himself, doesn't even feel those activities because they're nothing to him comparing to his workouts. You know, the second reason is that you can handle more stress. What training usually teaches is that it doesn't matter what happens, if things go wrong, it's always your fault. Even if it's not your fault, you always need to blame yourself, and you only blame yourself with the goal to get better. So this teaches you a good mindset because you can apply it to anything. Do not blame someone else for your unsuccess. The fact that you didn't succeed in life, it's only your fault. But again, don't blame yourself just to be upset all day. You blame yourself with the goal to actually use that situation as motivation. So training teaches you some really good mindset that you can apply to whether your business, whether anything in life when it comes to you needing to improve yourself. And even if you have a bad day at work, you can do a workout, progress in there, have a good workout, you suddenly feel strong again and it gives you confidence again. So you just realize that you just had a bad day. You know, for example, Gordon Ramsay, he runs different TV shows, he has multiple restaurants, and he still trains regularly, which means he doesn't train because he has to he knows the benefits. There is a lot of benefits because you don't want to be 50, 60 years old and you barely can move. No, you want to move at least freely, because what you do in your workouts is so intense that for you to do normal activities, that's nothing for you. That's what it is. But many old people, and again, in some cases I know they have some crazy disease, they can't train, maybe they have some heart issues. But how it works is that the reason normal activities for older people are tough to do is because the lack of strength. So they don't exercise. So for them to just do a squat, they can't even do a squat. So of course, getting up a chair would be very tough for them. But imagine you're 60 years old and you can squat with 50, 60 kilos, which is nothing too crazy. For you, you can easily get up from the chair. You don't need a lot of assistance, a lot of help. So this helps a lot. You exercising definitely helps, and it's a very useful thing to do. So you're not just training for looks, you're training for life. The third reason is that you are treated differently. And here I can even give an example of myself. It doesn't matter whether I have a good business or how things are going in life. If I'm going to a sauna, you get respect all the time, because people can tell you're an athlete. And in my case, they can tell I'm an athlete who just, doesn't inject themselves. I look natural. I just look like someone who's worked out for years. So even though that guy could be way more successful than me, he's still looking at me with a lot of respect, and he speaks to me with a lot of respect. And usually I've met people literally in a sauna, because I used to go sauna for like 2 years in a row. In a sauna, you meet some guy who has a crazy big construction company. He's very successful, but he's been only asking for advice the whole time that you were speaking. So it's easy to get connections, because those people, a lot of them actually, can't manage to train themselves. They know it's important, but they're lacking. They're not very good at taking it seriously. So when they see you taking it seriously, they suddenly ask you for advices, even though they're usually the ones giving out advice. For example, let's say you're in a business meeting and there's like 10 people who are knowledgeable about business. And let's say you're the only one who's actually fit. Well, what does this show? That you've got similar knowledge to those guys. You do the same thing like them, but they usually use an excuse to why they're not training, but suddenly you're in the same position like them, but you're actually fit, which automatically will get you more respect, because they've always had excuses to why they're not training, and then suddenly they see you managing to train. So suddenly they want to talk to you, they want to find out, how does this guy manage to do it? I want to be like that for sure. So the fourth thing that's good about this is you set the standard. Again, you become an example for all the people around you. If you're a dad, your kids will learn the best, not if you tell them, if you show them. You need to be an example. And I know it's tough. I know you've got a full-time job. I know you've got all these things going on. Still, it shouldn't be easy. Nobody said it's easy. I don't know who lied. Somebody lied to us that this is going to be easy. This is not easy. This is very tough, but it's worth it. Everything is tough. Being skinny is tough because you're skinny, you're weak. Being overweight is tough also. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because you've got health issues, you can barely move around. Things are actually getting pretty intense. Being fit is tough. So as you can see, everything is tough, but you choose your path. Which path are you going to take? Well, I think the one that you need to take is pretty obvious. So let's say you're a business owner and you just go to your office and your whole team is there chilling. And let's say those people are busy. And most of them understand that you as the business owner are way busier than them. And those people usually, the reason they don't train is not because they think it's bad. They know training is good, but they make up excuses to why they can't do it now and maybe one day they'll do it later. And then they see you, a person who's more successful than them, is an example to them, and a person who's even busier than them. And they see that you are fit and you manage to find a way to train. It's very tough to make up excuses at that point. So this is again a very great example that you show to everybody you're around. Now let's talk about what happens if you don't prioritize strength or exercising. Because exercising is cool, it's good to move around, but you getting stronger has the main benefits, because you doing normal activities in your life become easier because you do those activities with weights on you. You're actually getting stronger in those movements. So that's what the good thing about strength is that you do normal activities around the house, but you do them with weights. So you doing them without weights becomes like an easy thing. So why being weak actually sucks is because you sacrificed a lot of your health, a lot of your time for the job. So now you get to the point where you're 40, 50, 60 years old, and now you got some health issues that you can't get back anymore. You've got some problems that are very hard to get through. So now you're thinking, I wish I could go back in time. And I'm sure this is one thing that unfortunately people realize too late. You understand that you wish you could go back in time. In this case, I would say listen to the people who already regret not taking this step. So listen to them, use them as an example, and actually start to move now before it's too late. So you also can't enjoy your success because the testosterone is lower if you don't exercise. If you don't exercise, you probably don't care too much about health, so you eat randomly also, because why would you eat too good? Why would you sleep too good if you are not training, you're not healthy anyway, so you might as well just skip some sleep. So everything becomes worse. Your testosterone, you don't have much motivation. You don't really want to do things, you become lazier, weaker. All the disadvantages out there. So exercising is not just about doing the things just because you do them. It has loads of benefits. And you also have one good subject to speak about with any other person who works out. So if you meet a man who works out, man, you can speak about this subject for so long, and it's a good subject. It's actually something that makes you better. So this is an unlimited subject to talk about. So the brutal truth is, you can always make more money. You can always bring your business back and make it work again. But you can never get your health back, especially if it went too far. If it got too bad, then it's very hard to get it back up. You can still do your best, and it's still better to train, but it might be too late. So do not get to that point. And I know that pressure when you finally don't have an option is the best pressure, but try to realize this before it's too late. So why do most successful people train? Because they realize that strength is the foundation for everything. When you're strong, you have more energy to work. You actually show up as a leader. You handle stress better. You can actually enjoy the life that you're building. It's not just about the abs and the biceps. That's just like a bonus. I know what you're thinking. You might be saying, Jan, but I don't have time like all these guys. Wrong. You think Gordon Ramsay has free time? You think Mark Zuckerberg's schedule is light? These are the busiest people alive. It doesn't get more busy than that. They make time because they understand the return on investment for doing so. Even if you had to train 2 hours every day for the whole week, the return on investment is crazy. For example, the Soviet-style training can be as little as 3 hours a week. You do 3 hours a week of work and you already can get very crazy gains. So that's what my clients do, especially if they have the goal to get good strength and muscle growth, especially muscle growth. And that's what I did for a lot of the time of my career. That's how I got most of these muscles, by doing this. 3 hours a week maximum. That's how I got most of these muscles, with this Soviet style of training. And you know, we get the results that makes people think that we inject ourselves with something or that we live in the gym. It's not about training more, it's about training smart. So the most successful people prioritize strength because they understand the importance of it. The way that this makes you understand that you can still do things properly no matter how bad the day is going. You're a great example for all the people around you, not by telling them what to do, by showing them what to do. You don't often even have to speak to them about training or try to get them into training. They will already be interested and ask you questions because they see you're doing it. They don't have to ask you whether you do it or not. They can see that you're actually training. So you also don't need more time. You just need a better system. 3 times per week, 1 hour sessions, that's it. Soviet style training. So here's my question. What are you building your success on? If you're ignoring your body while chasing your goal, one burnout, one problem, and you're not gonna go anywhere too far. You're gonna quit very quickly. But if you build strength first, you get stronger physically, you look better, this will be the foundation which will make everything else easy in life. Your work gets easier, your relationship gets better, everything starts to come back together. So if you're ready to train like the most successful people, also watch the video where I talk about how to get 40 centimeters or more arms by training just 3 times a week. I will attach the video somewhere here on the screen. And yeah, once you watch the video, you'll start building the foundation immediately. And if you're ready for someone in your corner to help you take this very seriously, like someone like me who's been through this stuff, who knows how to deal with different problems, then I will leave the link in the description so that you can apply for my coaching. And yeah, I'll see you there. And now go watch the video on how I gained 40 centimeter plus arms by training 3 times a week. I'll see you in the next one.